guys just have the most beautiful turns of phrase. Like Aussie English is just the most descriptive, beautiful language. Like, especially you hear older rural people use the most fantastic phrases like, I heard an old farmer go, oh, I'm hungry enough to eat the crutch out of a low-flying duck. It's brilliant. I know exactly how hungry that guy is. My favourite phrase I've ever heard was this. I heard this for the first time when my husband and I were going out. He goes, well... And I was like, what the hell does that mean? Like, if you've never heard that before, apparently what it means is, we're not here to muck about. But why would you say that? I just love the idea of someone going, well, we're not here to fuck spiders, and someone else being like, oh shit, sorry, wrong room. Hello. I have not been on Instagram Live for what feels like a million years, but in fact is probably only a couple of months. But time does not work in 2020. So I've just done a corporate gig, and I thought while I'm still looking respectable and like a live human being, I wanted to recommend some podcasts because they've been giving me so much joy over the past few weeks. So the latest one that I'm listening to is a fantastic podcast. It's called How Did We Get Here? And it is Professor Tanya Byron, who is an amazing psychologist from the UK. She used to do a show called House of Tiny Tearaways, which I loved. So it's Professor Tanya Byron does a therapy session with a real person, and Claudia Winkleman is the host of the podcast. So she listens to the session, and then afterwards she kind of talks to Tanya about, listen to Tanya as if she's my mate. I wish she was my mate. So Claudia talks to Tanya about subjects I've covered in the session, and it is really, it's really affirming that like stories can be quite sad of the people that she's counselling, but it's just really lovely. I love hearing someone make realizations about themselves and kind of leave a session feeling empowered. And I just love Tanya Byron, and I'm torn between wanting to be her friend and wanting her to give me therapy. That's what I am torn between. But that's a really lovely one to listen to. And she's just so warm. She calls them darling. Oh, I just love it. Another lovely affirming podcast is Person, Place, Thing, which is Nellie Thomas's podcast. And I have guested on it and was a fan before I guested on it. And it's just lovely. Nellie is one of my favourite people. She is so good at distilling ideas, and she's so empathetic and warm and non-judgmental and just wise, and I just feel like a better person when I've been hanging out with her. And I cannot wait until the 5k limit is lifted and I can go socially distance walking with her, which really should be its own podcast because we cover a lot of topics. And another one that I have been loving is Walking the Dog with Emily Dean. And Emily Dean is a broadcaster from the UK. She went through a terrible time where she had lots of people in her life die, and so she got a dog as sort of a coping mechanism, I guess. And so her podcast is just her walking with a dog and someone else. And sometimes it's her dog, Ray, and sometimes it is a dog of the other person's choice. And it's just really lovely, relaxed chatting with really fascinating people. And the only weird thing about it is sometimes if she has to carry Ray, because he's quite small and his legs, like he's got those legs that don't have knees, like it's quite a small dog. If she's carrying him and you can hear him panting on the microphone, sometimes when I'm running, I think I'm being chased, but I'm not. It's just on the podcast. The Adam Buxton podcast is another one that I listen to when I'm running from the pandemic. Adam Buxton is an English comedian. He's about my age, and I really
the legendary comedian that is Carl Wilson has died at the age of 53, according to a couple of reports that are coming in this exact moment in time via different social media platforms. A case in point, ABC came out to break this story. They said that she passed on as a result of a very short illness, and she was actually at the Royal Prince Alfred Hospital, that is in Sydney, where she passed on from. This is a lady who was really very, very much talented. And she's been regarded as one of those modern day female stand-up comedians who could actually hold the audience, bring in brilliant material, and also had a very quick brain. She could make you laugh within just seconds, immediately the moment she comes on stage. She actually performed and appeared on so many TV shows, the likes of Spicks and Specks, Good Morning Newsweek, and of course she had been actually a very huge performer at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival, unprecedented 14 times. You cannot appear on such a huge comedy festival 14 times when you're not that good. So this is a lady who actually moved from Austria to Austria from New Zealand. That was in 2003, and she has been performing in there ever since. Very many people within the entertainment industry in Australia and of course New Zealand are coming out to pay their tributes. The likes of Rise Darby, who actually said that Wilson was really very kind, had a quick brain, and she wrote brilliant material. We've also seen Darren Patches also coming out to pay tributes to the legend that is Carl Wilson. In this moment in time, we are continuing to pray for the family because we all know they're going through a very difficult and tough moment in this exact moment in time. And of course, she's been survived by the husband and the son. Rest in power, the Queen, Carl Wilson.